even like, but who is the Kamo? Like, what do you do?
Who is the Kamo? Kamo is an individual from Kwa Thema. An individual from Kwa Thema who obviously grew up in Kwa Thema, who was made by Kwa Thema, and raised by Thema, mentored by Thema, and so it's editing. We should still think
That's editing next.
Is that Moleskine or Moleskine or Moleskine or something? Yeah, it is.
This.
Yeah,
I hear an artist.
Yes, I am an artist.
What type of art are you into?
I'm a visual artist, specializes in abstract. It's my specialty.
Abstract. Why abstract?
I've always been the type of person who wanted to be different in everything I did. Originally from being a realist artist, I discovered what everybody can do it. So I wanted to come up with something different, something that I only can do. Which pushed me from realism to abstract.
What's the difference? What's the difference?
Different is realism, you depend on everything you can see. Abstract, you create your own forms, your own shapes. So,
did you study art like in high school, after high school?
Actually, the first school for me as an artist was at Kwa Thema Library when I was still in primary school. That's where I started studying art.
Kwa Thema Library?
Kwa Thema Library, yeah.
So you read about it first? Did they offer classes?
They offer classes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they offer classes.
Things
we were in the same studio. We were sharing a studio with professional artists.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the likes of the late Madipala. I don't know if you guys heard of him. Should I mention all of them?
You can. Madipala,
Buti Masike, Mike Zikali. Those are the guys that inspired us because they were teaching us and we were watching them, working at the same time. So it was kind of easy.
Are these artists from Latam?
Mike from Zimbabwe.
Okay.
Buti from Atema, White Sit.
Okay.
The late Madipala was obviously from Elona. It is placed by Bahama.
Minnesota. Okay. And then you didn't study in tertiary?
Then from high school I actually dropped out of high school and I went to Fuga.
Oh, okay.
In Joburg.
Which high school did you do?
Eureka High School. Most feared high school. There's actually no such things. Those are rumors.
You guys in Joburg, man.
Yeah. Joburg, Newtown.
So what did you, obviously dropping out of high school, ne? What did you feel, or what pushed you to drop out of high school?
I was never there.
You were never there?
I was never there.
Okay, where were you?
I was elsewhere making art, I was always visualizing. Everything they offered me was not for me, I was just doing it for the sake of doing it.
So you didn't
pleasing my parents and stuff.
Okay. So they didn't provide a space conducive to the type of learning that you want.
And I remember I had one of my favorite teachers who advised me to actually leave the school and find an art school. You know, who was there. You know, every art competition I entered, you know, she's the one who pushed me to it. You know, she's the one who kind of made me aware of the possibilities, you know, as an artist. You know, because before it was just painting and drawing, you know. But she showed me this world that I never knew existed. You know, so every art competition she told me about, you know, every art event, she always took me. You know,
so did you like spend time scribbling on your books? How did you discover that you were an artist?
I drew almost every day, man. Okay. Almost every day, you know. And I won most of the competition. You know, that's when she actually saw who, you know, I was capable. You know, I remember the first competition I won was in Eureka.
Europe.
You know, in Eureka.
Oh, okay.
You know. Yeah, we had to draw what are they called? All barrels for damping.
Oh, I think I've seen that abstract on your Facebook page.
Yeah, so I drew a nice old barrel. We had to decorate them. And then I was still a first year student. Nobody knew anything about me, but I came up tops. You know, competition yakwana man winner. If person wins it, win the whole class.
Okay.
Yeah, so you get a gift and eat the whole thing. You know. Yeah.
Do you think there are any shortfalls from you dropping out of high school? What does that make sense? Like, does that question make sense?
You can elaborate.
Say you dropped out of high school and now you're an artist. You've always been an artist, but do you think that there was something high school could have provided you that could have furthered you right now? Which is what I mean by shortfalls in you dropping out of high school.
Not really. Obviously, there could have been different outcomes. You know, if I hopefully made it to metric, chances are I would have started something different. You know, because my thinking of the art right now, you know, it was shaped by those experiences I had after dropping out of high school. You know, chances are maybe I wouldn't have gone to a FUBA, you know, because FUBA was the cheapest art school you can ever find, you know. And if I finished, maybe I would have qualified to go to vet. Maybe I would have like done a drawing or something, technical drawing, you know, did architecture or something. I don't know. But FUBA just, you know, gave me this gift, you know, that most of us, you know, my students went to a FUBA, you know, never realized Maslap, but it actually, you know, made us the type of artist we are, you know, because comparing us to vet students, we're like totally different. Because being in that environment, number one, FUBA never really offered as much, you know, so we had to go and find information as students. So we'd go and visit vet, we'd go and visit, you know, my students would say Parktown, just to get information to be on the same with them, you know. Not being aware what we're exposing ourselves to this different school and us individually, you know. I don't know how to put it, but I don't think, chances are I wouldn't have been an artist if I finished to mainstream. Yeah. I would have, you know, settled for something else. Now it's the pressure that I get, you know, and the fact that I don't have any qualification, you know, it means this is the only thing. You know, it's either this or nothing. You know, with school, maybe I would have got a job. Metric, having a seven somewhere.
So do you sell your work to make a living?
This is what I do. I have commercial projects, you know, that I do. You know, then I have my own personal works that I don't sell. So if you come to me and you're like, you know what, I want an art, you know, and I want to buy art from you, I won't sell you my own personal projects that I'm working on. Instead, I'm going to sit down with you and work on something that I can paint for you, you know. I can make a painting for you, with you, so you become part of the whole process, you know, but you'll never find anything like you made it and take it from me. I'll never allow that. You know, so you come to me, we talk about it, we work on it, pricing and everything, and that's it for now. You know. In the future, because what I'm avoiding is just giving out my personal work, you know, because tracking it back, it's not easy most of the time. You know, there's gonna come a time where I'm gonna exhibit, you know, and they're gonna wanna know history and, you know, history of my work. And if you don't have Msebenzi work, you know, it's not easy for them to value you, if I may put it that way. So they wanna know where you started, where you are, and when you're going. You know, so I wanna keep my old works. Yeah. But I've lost some. Some were stolen.
Oh.
Yeah.
Stolen?
Oh. Yeah, stolen.
From where?
They were borrowed and never returned. Yeah.
So how do you differentiate between like creating something that you're gonna sell and stuff that you want to keep for yourself? Like not having me as a client sit with you, but stuff that you actually do for yourself that you want to sell.
Stuff that I do for myself. You see stuff that I do for myself.
Like, how do you decide if it's okay, this I want to sell and this I want to keep for myself?
Okay. Stuff that I sell is I told you, I'm going to sit down with you.
Okay, so if there's nobody to sit down with, then you don't?
No, then I don't.
Okay.
You know, yeah, I don't. I only produce, how can I put it? You know, the commercial stuff, I only produce, there's a need for it.
Okay.
If there's no need, then I continue with my own personal work. You know, and the thing with my personal work, the fact that I'm not selling it now doesn't mean I won't sell it in the future. You know, it's how I sell, you know, at Yan that matters to me the most. I'd rather sell everything at an art gallery than selling it individually. You know, hence I said I have a problem with tracking, you know, my works back. You know, that's how I'm avoiding it.
What would you do differently?
What would I do differently?
Tracking your entire experience as an artist, what would you do differently?
That's a tough question, but I wouldn't come back to a Thema.
Why? Why?
I know I shouldn't say that. Being interviewed by Rebranding Kwa Thema.
Why wouldn't you come back?
The thing is, me coming back to Kwa Thema, you know, I kind of compromised, you know, so much as an artist. I gave with my time, and I delayed, you know, the process of a growth young as an artist. So for almost 8 years, I was teaching, giving back to the community. You know, I guess that's the toughest part in giving back to the community.
So you think it hindered on your progression?
I think giving back is not a bad thing. However, it should come after, you know, your achievements. You know, because we grow, we need to leave our homes, you know, and start a new life elsewhere. So it becomes hard, you know, because after you have given back, you have nothing to give to yourself most of the time. You know, so now I'm playing a catch-up game. You know. So yeah, it's the only thing I want to change.
Catching up to who?
catching up to my peers, man, people I went to school with, people I taught art, who are making it big now.
Why aren't you making it big? Is it because of this whole coming back to a Thema, and or is it lack of exposure, lack of support?
It's all of the above, because coming back meant time for me, stop, and the focus is teaching, so I spend most of my time teaching.
So where did you teach?
I taught under Umzondile John.
Yes, connections.
To Umzondile.
We just did an interview with him.
Yeah, but I was the art director, the art teacher.
Art director and art teacher.
Mm-hmm. Have you tried to recollate, like, actually put it in a better way, have you tried to expand from your teachings? Because people build portfolios. As an artist, you need a portfolio. You're an art teacher. Did you try and keep record of the things that you taught the people, who you taught, and what you taught them? Because I think in today's day and age, you can get accredited for being an art teacher even though you don't possess the actual qualification to do so. So have you tried and gone back to say, okay, I've done A, B, C, D, F, G. I did it out of the goodness of my heart, but in the process, these are the people that I taught, and this is a picture, and they've made it.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that. It's my past. It was fun, but a part of me doesn't want anything to do with it.
The teaching.
The teaching. I've done it. Cool. It was okay for that moment. And now the new is coming.
Is coming or has come?
It's coming.
Did you want to teach then, or was it something that Umzondile had approached you and sort of asked you to?
I actually started teaching on my own. I started my own Saturday art class, in my own pocket, everything. That's actually how Umzondile met me. I knew it as a guy who was teaching every Saturday. And I was giving a class alone, Lifa to teach me, And I taught there for almost a year before I joined the Youth Connection. When the Youth Connection was formed, Umzondile had when they approached me. That's why I'm saying 8 years, because the Youth Connection I actually taught for how long? I think it's 6.5 years. And the rest I was Lifa. The boys I taught Lifa went to Youth Connection, all of them. Then from Lapo, it continued.
What did you learn from that experience?
That experience taught me humility. It taught me to be less judgmental. It taught me as much as that experience of teaching, sometimes, like when I think about it, I get angry. Something to drink, something cool. I feel Wilona in game as an artist, looking back, it's the most important. Me teaching was the most important experience for me. I'll tell you a story on how it changed, my whole view on what art really is. You can sit on that thing, eh?
No, I'm wondering.
Okay. I'll continue. Interesting. I remember I had this boy, I forgot his name. I think it was Bongai or something, from Nkumbu. Out of the group I had, he was the worst student, according to my, understanding of what art meant back then, all of the students wanted to, or they all looked up to me. They wanted to draw like a car. My realism was the most important thing. You know, must draw an apple, it has to be exactly, you know. And I tried to push him most of the time. You know, I taught him so many techniques. You know, so many techniques. For almost 6 months, you know, the more I taught him, the worse it became. You know, and I remember I got pissed. A part of me was like, you know what, just chase him out. You know, he's not gonna be an artist. You know, not a chance. And I went to him and I told him, boy, you tried. You know, but I don't see you going anywhere. You know, and he left. After leaving, you know, I don't know, for some reason, I started thinking about it. You know, why did I chase him out? You know, was it right, was it wrong? You know, and I decided, you know what, I want to try my best to take him back to that level. I remember bringing him back. He made an interesting drawing that reminded me of Picasso, you know, and it was like, you know, a brainwave, you know, like out of the blue. I started seeing art differently, you know. In my head, being a realist artist was art, or drawing in April as it is, you know, but that was not really art. You know, art is creating something, you know, something fresh, something new. That's what makes great artists. Not the artists are doing the repetition or compete with you on the photograph or something. You know, and I remember pushing him not to be a realist artist, to go the opposite direction and explore his signature. And for the first time, you know, as a teacher, you know, I started looking at them individually, you know, and I started pushing them in direction and asking them where they wanted to go as an artist, you know. And that experience for me was the most beautiful thing. I remember after that experience, I stopped criticizing about my artist. Even namhlanje, I can't, you know, because I know song can be different. And if I say this is wrong, you know, it's wrong according to me, you know, not according to your gifts. You know, and that day I knew that anybody can be an artist. You just need to enhance that signature, you know. And it changed me, and it changed how I even talk about the art with my peers. You know, they would talk according to my experiences, whether being what is right and what is wrong. Give me there's no wrong, you know. It's just art. You know, so that's what I'm gonna value or take forward with me out of that experience. You know. And yeah, having time with those kids and seeing them grow into being what they are now, you know. But sometimes you come across some of the kids you taught how to draw in science at course and whatnot. And you see this Tombas posting, you know, it's an art and they still continue doing it. You know, it's inspiring to me because it's those things that keep you going when you're at your hardest times and you see that you're like, you know what, it was not for nothing, you know, and you keep going, you know.
So do you think there's like an interest in art, towards art from a lot of young people Kwa Thema? Do they take interest in art? Do they make a way of coming up to you and saying, you know, where can I study?
A lot of them, yeah. There's so many kids that want to pursue art, you know, but there's just not enough schools. You know, some can't afford a National School of the Arts. You know, there's one Elona in Epidon, but it's dead. You know, Speakwa, dead. You know, so we have a lot of artists, we have a lot of kids that wanna, you know, study art. You know, however they don't know how.
Do you think it should be? Do they teach art in township schools?
Yeah.
No, it's just girl. The only schooling as in the East Rand that teaches art is Girls High. There was nothing. There's no other school I've heard of, except if people have like incubator programs, like you did, and then you teach after actual school. Then you teach art, but there's nothing besides Girls High.
So do you think that should be implemented in schools? Like art teachers should be sought and.
Yeah, there's a need for it. It's not even a question. Because I remember, there was a lot of us in primary school who could draw. We had kids that could draw better than me. But because they had no idea where to go to or who to go to, after primary school, we just left it.
Who inspires you?
Who inspires me? Interesting question. Life inspires me. It's not really a who. It's life in general that inspires me.
What's in life? What's in life inspires you?
It's too many things, man. It's experiences in life, it's nature itself, there's so much. It's color that I see in life, it's the emotion I come across, how I feel, It's life in general. That's where I get my inspiration from, that's where I get my ideas from. The idea that you see on paper most of the time. Something I see every day.
So do you prefer painting to drawing, sculpturing?
No, I actually have moments. The times where I feel like painting, the times where I feel like drawing, the times where I feel like doing something totally different. I love exploring. I want to stick to one thing. Just want to keep rediscovering myself most of the time. And, finding something fresh. My friends Wami used to say, I'll never be successful or I'll never exhibit because I get bored easily. I work on an idea now and I don't want to do it anymore. I'm working on another idea.
So where to from here?
Where to from here? Making art for myself. And hopefully having an exhibition. I don't know when, but the most important thing is to make art. That's the most important thing. Have as much as possible. If in the process of making art I get a bigger space, it's even better. Which is what I'm working on. Moving from here to an actual studio.
So in an exhibition, what do you want people to take away from your
My
works?
exhibition.
Or from Okama in general? Because your art is a representative of you, right?
It's a representation of life as well. But my exhibition one thing that people should be ready for is people call me controversial, right? So at times it's going to be thought-provoking, at times it's going to be funny sometimes. At times it's going to be strange as well. So that's what I want to bring to the masses. I don't want to bring them something they know or something they think they'll get. I just want to bring something that will shock, something that will make them question, something that will make them laugh, something that will make them
So
not
shock
think
value
anything.
is what you...
It's part of it. It's part of it. Yeah, it's gonna have a hollow Jane one. I don't wanna give you a mountain or a tree, hence I'm taking I haven't had an exhibition, Abantu abaningi ezingiqede ungitshela about ama-friends wami wanted me to exhibit, my paintings that I did long time ago. you know, because I told you guys that I was a realist. I have that gift, you know, but I got bored, you know. What am I gonna